Well, we're going to take a little stroll through the Rocky Springs Cemetery. Actually, this is the cemetery of the Rocky Springs Presbyterian Church, which was organized in 1743. And the deed for the church is dated 1773. It was for a church lot and a burial ground. So the church goes way back to the 1700s there. Of course, it had different buildings. There's a brick building that was erected in 1853. And then later on, the building burned down and they built a new building using some of the walls of the former building. There's a lot of people buried in that cemetery. It goes like 200 years back. So a lot of history there. Back a few months ago, we had a video in here called Grave of a Revolutionary War Soldier. And he's buried in that cemetery, Thomas Huggart. You might want to check that video out. And also another reference of another video we made called Deerfield's Day of Mourning. It's all located on this same page. You might want to check that one out. It tells you about the 6 Deerfield, West Augusta area boys that were killed in the Battle of Cedar Creek, October 1864. There's a little monument down there to them. So, according to the Find a Grave, there's a lot of Civil War soldiers buried in there. I've only found 2, and I haven't been down to check that cemetery for probably 30 years, but I'd like to maybe get a group to go down there sometime and maybe go through it and write them down where they're buried and all that, and their names. We can get videos of their graves and all. And there's many other soldiers buried in there from other wars. 2 of them I want to spotlight today is one of them, Sergeant William W. Holtz. I actually found his grave years ago. And to find the grave lists a lot of people on there from the Civil War. And also, I want to point this out. Some of the information of people buried in that cemetery is wrong. They've got people buried, listed as being buried in that cemetery. I know for a fact they're buried across the road in the Deerfield Community Cemetery. And one gentleman is buried up in over in Bath County there at Mount Mary Cemetery. So I don't know if people are confusing the cemeteries or what, especially the community cemetery with this one. But anyway, you know, the Find a Grave is a good website for finding information out, but it relies on individuals to send pictures and information in. So let me go back to Sergeant William W. Holtz. He was the son of J.B. and S. Holtz, it says. He was a member of Company G, 52nd Regiment, Virginia Infantry, and he died December the 24th, 1862. He was 21 years old, 5 months and 13 days. He was wounded in action at the Battle of Fredericksburg on December the 13th, 1862. He had his leg amputated and he died of his wounds. So that's very close to the time that we're making this video, time of the year, I should say. And Sergeant Holtz. And there's a picture of the Rocky Springs Presbyterian Church there. And there's the Confederate Monument down in the cemetery. Now on that monument, it lists 6 names. And their names are Armstrong, Black, Wynn, Lanes, Ramsey, and Wanless. And it doesn't list their first names. But I think they were all, from my research, telling me they were in the 5th Virginia Infantry. And I think probably Company D. I know some of them were. Now, one of the graves I did find down there, not sure how many of them are buried in there. I know of one for sure. But we had information years ago. We thought they were all of them buried in there. That's listed on that stone there, but not real sure about that now. But William McClung, he was in Company D, the 5th Virginia Infantry Regiment. He was born June the 27th, 1826. and he died at Cedar Creek, 1864. He was a member of the Stonewall Brigade, 5th Virginia, Company D. Now on his tombstone, I think it just said Stonewall Brigade, so that's how I kind of tracked him down to find out what outfit he was in. I know the 5th Virginia Infantry Regiment was in the Stonewall Brigade there, and so Company D of that regiment there, William McClung. And there's quite a bit of information on the other video about the Battle of Cedar Creek. So that's a look at the Rocky Springs Cemetery, and it's located south of Deerfield on Marble Valley Road, Deerfield, Virginia, there for you folks out of the area. And it's north of Goshen, Virginia. You might want to get your maps out and see if you can find it there. But a lot of history in that cemetery. And if you like to look at cemeteries, there's a lot of old stones to look at. And some of them are kind of hard to read. But anyway, I think you enjoy walking through there, looking back at a little bit of history. I want to thank my mother for videotaping this for me. And she was down there video recording. I shouldn't say tape because we don't do tape no more, but this is kind of a spur of the moment thing. So anyway, thanks. And thanks for watching the video. Thanks for following the page. And feel free to share the video if you like. Thanks a lot. We're going to take one more look up here in just a minute at the Rocky Spring Presbyterian Church. That beautiful church setting up there, and you can't hardly make it out, but to the other side of it, you can see the Deerfield Community Cemetery back on the other side of the church there. And take a look at the North Mountain over there, and the cemetery is kind of at the foot of Walker Mountain, not to be confused with Walker Mountain down in southwest Virginia. Don't know how many Walker Mountains there are around, but this is a different one than the one in Wythe County, in Bland County area. Thanks for watching. Hope you'll follow us here on History Private Eye.